Good morning. It's time for Two Guys on Sports. I'm Larry Hazer.
I'm Dick Olson. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, Dick. And, high school football, it's alive, and it's the talk of the town.
Yes, I was going to say.
In Neillsville, a lot of stuff happening. We'll go back to last week, the big game over at Mondovi, where the Warriors got it going in the passing game.
Got it going passing. A tremendous night for Bryce Erickson. 33 out of 46, 339 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. Just a great night. And, and then he used his feet, too. He rushed for, I believe, about 35, 40 yards also. So, he had a great night.
Yeah.
And he was just seeing the field so well. And nothing, some deep stuff, but a lot of underneath stuff. It's like Wesley Sweeta, 11 receptions, 78 yards. Braylon Boyer, 8 receptions, 82 yards. Gunnar Barth, 8 receptions. So it's a lot of short stuff, but it moved the ball. They didn't run the ball terrifically. Gunnar had 36 yards rushing, but they did enough, and they kept the chains moving. A lot of sustained drives, really. So.
Yeah, and you look at Bryce, 46 attempts in high school ball, and he only had 1 interception.
That's tremendous. Yeah. And he sees the field so well, Larry. And, of course, they've got some really good receivers out there, and they do a great job all the way around. So
yeah, he's up to 864 yards passing and a 56.1% completion percentage.
It's tremendous. And we should say Bryce was nominated for WIS Sports Player of the Week this week. He one of the top 5 people, and I don't know if he got it. I think the voting ended. I didn't see the voting ended late yesterday, but just to be nominated is a tremendous feat here these days. So,
yeah, right. 11 touchdowns, 4 interceptions on the season now for Bryce Erickson.
And I went back into the Neillsville record books, Larry, and he's crawling up. He's chasing Cody Craig in all the career stats.
Oh, okay.
So
Cody put up some big numbers.
But Bryce is not that far behind him. Where this season Bryce could pass him.
Okay.
All right. It's I think example. I think Cody had 28, 29 touchdowns, and I think Bryce is at 24 right now or something like that. So, but I'll put that together next week and share it. But, it's just how great this young man has been the last couple of years. So.
Yeah, and I think he's getting some eyes from around the other coaches, too, that are, they know when he comes into town.
And, Larry, we go back to our preseason talks, and we talked about Bryce being the only returning starting quarterback in the Clover Belt Conference, and it's paying big dividends. Well,
I had a chance to talk. He's not in the studio with us, but he is our guest on Two Guys on Sports today. It's head coach Reed Lehman of the Neillsville Granton football team, and I talked with him during practice. Actually, it was after practice on Monday. Here's how that conversation went with him. All right, let's talk first about the game on Friday. A big game. I know I heard some people talking here in practice. A lot of people are sore on Monday after that game on Friday. A lot of effort put in by your guys.
Yeah, we played super hard. It's just, going back and watching film, we started in there today, and the boys got a chance to kind of see some of the things that even though we played a really good game and beat a really good team, there's still things we need to improve on and get better at, and they were really receptive to that. And I think this is, a group that's going to take that coaching and work really hard to continue to hopefully beat good teams the rest of the year too.
Because I know we talked going into that game on Friday last week that that's the kind of team, if these guys want to get to the playoffs, that's the kind of team they're going to see, and they played well.
Yeah, they played super well. And I just, to take the ball away 6 times, only turned it over once. Those are the kinds of things that are going to lead to a lot of success usually, and we've just continued to take it away, and we've continued to take really good care of it offensively.
Talking about that, taking away 6 turnovers this week, you had 5 interceptions last week. This defense is just all over the place.
Yeah, it's crazy because I have not seen this many takeaways as a coach, or even when I was a player in high school and different things. I've not seen a team take it away as often as we have right now. So, hopefully we can keep that rolling. Lead the state in interceptions and lead the state in total takeaways, and we fly around, and the kids fly around, and they know where they're supposed to be, and they make sure they get to that spot, which is huge.
Yeah, and then 2 of those takeaways kind of were the game changers the game enders, I guess, against Fall Creek. It was the interception for a touchdown, and then this past week the interception at the end to steal the game.
Yeah, I mean that's just our boys just playing super hard and being smart and knowing situations. And I mean when Andrew Hazer got his pick on Friday night, he knew to kind of get down right away with it and not try to run and make something happen and possibly give the ball back to them, which was good to see, especially from a guy that hasn't played high school football, didn't play high school football as a freshman. So he's just a heady kid and made a really nice play. And and then the one 2 weeks ago, the pick six against Fall Creek with Austin Gross, that was huge too, obviously.
Offensively, you haven't put up the big numbers except this past week when the passing game really took off. But offensively, you're making what you need to do on yardage, and you're not turning the ball over.
Right, yeah, and that's something we've preached all year, is taking care of the football, and being able to move the ball when we need to. And we had some long sustained drives this last week, which was nice. And we're really doing a nice job of securing the ball on offense, and then making sure we can get some first downs. We struggled with that the first few weeks. We really were not very good on third downs. In the last couple of weeks now, we've gotten much better on converting third downs, which is huge. With
this defense, the way it's playing, and the offense, the way it's playing, you're pretty much got to be thinking you're not out of any game.
No, I don't think we are. I don't think there's a game on our regular season schedule here left that I feel like is a game that we shouldn't win. And then also just even if things on a Friday night start to not go the best, I think our kids have plenty of confidence that A, we can get a stop, and then B, that we can also move the ball down the field against somebody and score if we need to. And that's huge. Their confidence right now in what they can do is through the roof, and that's a big part of our success right now.
And you'll have to keep that confidence going this Friday night, because you had Fall Creek, Mondovi, and now Stanley Boyd, another tough team.
Right, Stanley's a good team. They're physical, they're tough, they're big, and then their skill guys are super fast. So I feel like they're a team we match up with pretty well with the skill positions. I'll be honest, I don't think there's many teams in our conference that can match up against our guys that we can throw the ball to and get the ball to out in space offensively. And I think we have a group defensively that should be able to kind of maintain any sort of stuff that anybody really kind of throws at us right now. Our kids, like I said, are just playing super hard and super fast and with a ton of confidence.
One of the things I didn't bring up here as we were talking about the offense is the offensive line, because Bryce attempted 43 passes, and I don't believe he was sacked one time and only had one interception.
Yeah, our offensive line this year has just continued to get better every week. And it's huge. We have 4 seniors on the offensive line, only one of which was a varsity player last year on the offensive line, but with that being Max Kretlow. But Reese was a starting tight end for us last year and moved into the offensive line. Austin played tight end and moved into the offensive line. And Aiden Sternitsky's been really, really good for us at center. And Preston Berg has just continued to get better every week and has played really well. Our guys are playing really confident up there and doing a nice job of protecting Bryce when we try to throw the ball.
You mentioned even though you're playing at a high level right now, there are some things still that you got to work on. What are some of the keys that you have to still work on to be successful the rest of this way?
I think offensively for us, our big thing is going to be finishing blocks on the offensive line and continuing to take care of the ball. Go back and watch the film. There's a lot of times where we make really good initial contact up front, but we don't sustain our blocks. And those are the things that some of these really good teams are going to be able to try to capitalize on. And so we're going to continue to rep that, continue to get better with our footwork up front, and then just really kind of perfecting the little things, the stuff that a lot of kids get bored with that these kids have not yet this year, the little things that make the big difference on a Friday night.
All right, well, good luck Friday.
All right, thank you.
The big word that I get out of that's head coach Reed Lehman of the Neillsville Granton Warrior football team. The big word that comes out of when you talk to him or anybody else with the team, confidence.
Confidence.
A lot of confidence with this team.
They are very confident. And they're confident in each other, and they're confident about what they're going to do. they don't seem to get rattled.
Right, and that was one of the things I asked him. You know, it seems like the way the offense is playing and the way the defense is playing, especially the defense, they're really not out of any game.
No, they're not. You know, and I said, and it always seems like somebody always steps up to make a big play.
Right.
An example I think was on that last drive. I believe on the third down play, Sam Hayes got outside, chased Lindsey out, and turned it into a fourth down. And then on fourth down, Andrew Hazer intercepting the pass. I said, it's guys that are making plays all over the field. It's really neat to see what a balance they have.
Yeah, it's not the same guy.
No, it's
it
not.
seems like every week there's somebody new.
I said, and one guy I did want to point out was Reese McDonald. He
Yeah.
had a tremendous night. 13 tackles and 2 fumble recoveries the other night. He was just all over the field from that nose guard position. Did a really good job. Snyder from
Peyton
Mondovi
Snyder,
runs between the tackles, and they held him well below their average.
And this was without their stud linebacker, Jace Peckle.
Yeah, that was another thing. They really stepped up. You know, I said it's not exactly next man mentality. It's kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Right, yeah.
Somebody always steps into, you know, and I said, okay, Max Cretlow moved into Jace's position. Well, Andrew Hazer moves into Max's position. It's just, and nothing. They just went about their business. You don't worry about it. So
it seems like they all know what needs to be done,
and they're going to go about it. So
well, they're going to need to go about it again this week because they're going against a team in Stanley Boyd that looks like they like to pass the ball.
Yeah, they're averaging 161 yards passing and 165 yards rushing, but as I recall, a lot of their passing is short. It's kind of like short running plays, you know, that. But one thing that does worry me, and one thing I did want to say too is, this is probably the fastest team Neillsville is going to see so far.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some pretty good speed with Landon Carlin and Mad Mar, and one thing that showed up last week is they gave up a kickoff return on it for a touchdown in the second quarter against Mondovi. Well. Madden Marr has 2 kick returns and a punt return for a touchdown this year, and Landon Carlin has a kickoff return for a touchdown. So the Warriors really need to pay attention to special teams. So
yeah, from what I understand, though, Stanley Boyd is turnover prone.
Yeah, I believe that.
There is one thing Neillsville has been specializing in this year is
and Stanley Boyd is 4-1, Larry. But I'm not gonna, and I don't knock anybody, but their schedule hasn't been that great. They played Cadott. And Marathon in pre-season in the non-conference schedule, and they did go into Fall Creek and beat Fall Creek, which is tremendous. But then last week they beat Osseo, and of course Osseo is struggling mightily this year. So, but they're a team that's going to have to be reckoned with, though.
Oh yeah, don't look past Stanley Boyd. No,
because there's. And we get back to talking about these kids. These are not the kind of kids that are looking beyond.
No, I don't think so.
They're looking straight at Stanley Boyd.
Yep.
Let's do this, and then next week we'll worry about the next one.
So,
Because I think it's this week too. Let's get done at Mondovi, then we'll worry about the next one. So.
Yeah, and their season has paid off for them because they come in this week ranked number 10 in Division 5. First time they've been ranked in a long time.
We figure about 2,000. So
not that means anything.
No, but it's just nice.
Yeah,
it's nice that it's like Bryce getting nominated for the WithSports.net Player of the Week. It's recognition.
Shows your hard work is paying off.
But I also your mentality's got to change, Larry. Too. You went from being the hunter. And now you are going to be the hunted.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Teams aren't going to overlook Neillsville anymore.
No. At least not the rest of this year.
Not the rest of this year, anyway. So,
some other teams that are in the WithSports.net coaches poll. Colby is ranked 9th, by the way, in Division 5. Stratford is 3rd in Division 6. Auburndale is ranked 7th. Mondovi still in the top 10, even with the loss. They are ranked 8th this week. And I go down to the 8th player, and a lot of area teams still in that top 10.
Yeah, Gilman's up there.
Gilman's number 1.
McDonald is still going.
Owen Withy.
Yep. They're all
still up in that top 10.
Yeah, all playing well too, putting up some pretty big numbers too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Gilman put 61 up against Greenwood the other night. Wow. My goodness.
And I thought Greenwood wasn't going to be playing for a few weeks, but
I
guess
they jumped back into it. So, but give credit to their kids for wanting to play. I guess.
Yeah.
So, but. One thing I lost my train of thought, but anyway, we talk about Colby. They took her on the chin pretty big from, Edgar last week. Edgar looks like they're the real deal in D7. So
yeah, they look like they're on a mission.
Yep. So.
Also, tonight there's a big game.
Huge
in
game
the
tonight.
Cloverbell Conference.
Huge game. This is going to, we talk about games that are going to eventually mean the championship, and this is one. Mondovi at Carson Park against Regis tonight. That is huge.
Yeah, and then Regis last week just snuck by Fall Creek by 2.
They got the final 2 points on a safety.
Yeah.
To go by Fall Creek. So, kind of disappointing for Fall Creek. They played some good football, but they do not have any wins in conference to show for it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, their record doesn't really show how hard they played.
They're a good team.
Yeah.
And
too bad for them, but
yeah, that's the way it goes.
But we continue on again. Neillsville, Granton, and Stanley Boyd Friday night. Tomorrow night, 7:00 is game time. Let's see how many people we can get up there at D.E. Peters Athletic Field.
We need to fill the hill, and for one thing, it's going to be a nice night.
Yep.
70s. These kids deserve their support.
Yeah.
They play hard. They play together. They're a good ball club, and people need to see these kids too. Get out and see these kids.
Yeah, they play hard, and they're a good team.
There's nothing wrong with listening to us on the radio, but they're much more fun to watch in person.
I'll bring a radio along.
Yeah,
bring a radio along.
Yeah,
Listen
earbuds or whatever.
You bet. And the youth, I understand the youth players, youth football is going to do a little something at halftime.
Okay, that's nice too.
That'll bring some people in.
Yep, the touch football, flag football guys.
Yeah, 7:00 game time tomorrow night, D.E. Peters Athletic Field for high school football. Let's go to volleyball, where the Cloverbell Conference season is underway, and Neillsville Granton got it off.
Tough one Monday night, but they went in and did really well. Pretty much easily won the first 2 sets, but just could not get anything going in the last 3 sets, and Kobe knocks them off 3-2, and so
Neillsville's at 1-1 now in the conference.
Tonight they've got Marshall Columbus at the field house.
And Columbus is ranked number 1 in Division 4
in
the latest poll.
Yeah, they're a team that's and of course they're always kind of been the bell ringer of the Cloverbell the last few years, and the way it looks, they're right up there again. And
another big one in the Western Cloverbell tonight has McDonald Central taking on Bloomer.
Okay.
Bloomer's ranked 5th in Division 2, and McDonald Central is 3rd in Division 3.
Yeah, McDonald, of course, the defending champions.
That's a good one there in that Western Cloverbell. Marshfield did receive some votes this week in Division 1 for girls volleyball as they continue on tonight. Again, Neillsville and Columbus Catholic up at the field house in Neillsville. That gets underway at 7:15 tonight. All right, so volleyball, and then we got cross country.
Yeah.
We saw some buses going this way to Marshfield when we were going up to Mondovi.
They ran down under the lights at River's Edge. So.
And then we seen buses coming back when we were going back from Mondovi. 400 runners they had in that.
I said, unbelievable. Yeah, it was a large school and a small school division, but still. I said, what a neat idea, That
was last Friday.
Yeah, and do it on a Friday night, so, the kids don't have school on Saturday, so it's...
They call it Nightfall Classic 7:15.
Yeah, so I'm sure that must be a 7:15 start.
Must have been when it started, yeah.
So, okay, no. Well, now we know. We just weren't seeing those buses on the way over.
Yeah, and there was you're talking about a lot of class act runners over there. You had Isaac Shear was there from Columbus Catholic. You had Connor Genneman there from Loyal Greenwood. Lucas Walker from Stanley Boyd. Owen Hennerman from Marshfield. Natalie Scherenbrock from Marshfield was involved on the girls' side. So, there was a lot.
This was kind of a best of the best thing. It really looked like. You look at the teams and the people they brought in, and my goodness.
That must have been quite a sight.
Yeah.
400 runners.
I think it would be fun to be there.
Yeah.
Really, it was probably more fun to be in Mondovi that night. But
I saw a couple of pictures online from some of the runners, and they had glow sticks. And
it was great time.
Quite the thing.
Yeah.
Quite the thing.
Pretty creative idea when you think about it.
Yes, indeed. The WIA Board of Control, by the way, last Friday tabled that action to return to 4 quarters from the current 2 18-minute halves in basketball.
Yeah, it's something. Right now, it looks like the coaches aren't in favor of, but boy, when you start breaking it down like we did, you get an extra time out, and I guess the big thing is is the foul thing, I guess.
Yeah, there's a basketball rule 481 that establishes the bonus as 2 free throws awarded for a common foul, beginning with the team's 5th foul in each quarter and resets.
Okay.
But you can't do that if you don't have quarters.
Right. So.
And apparently they want to revisit the National Federation of High School Rules Compliance.
Okay.
I guess they're not in compliance with a few of the things.
Actually, they're not. Well, another one would be probably the shot clock, huh? Yeah,
They didn't mention anything about that.
I
don't know if that's.
I don't know if that's in compliance.
Right.
That's a national rule. Probably
Yeah,
not.
probably not.
But, it's something we haven't heard about for a little bit here
No.
too now. So.
And that's one of those things that's going to involve expense.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, I said the schools accepted the third referee pretty good because originally there was talk, that's the third referee's going to cost money, but they absorbed that one. But how many these small schools, how many things can they absorb too?
Yeah, and the thing now is shortage of refs.
Right, a shortage of refs. But then the school also then has to have the support people there too.
Right.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Not easy as it looks.
No. All right, let's see, where are they now?
Okay,
for
Larry,
this
we're
week?
going up to Owen Withy and talk about Brad Scholz. And Brad was a 2000 graduate of Owen Withy High School. Brad was a 3-year letter winner on the Blackhawk football team. His sophomore year, the Hawks were 3-6. Brad started at linebacker for the Blackhawks and was honorable mention on the small Clover Belt all-conference team. His junior year, Owen Withy was 12-1 and small Clover Belt champions, qualifying for the WIA Division VI playoffs, where they were defeated in Level 4 by Lake Holcomb 24-7. Brad started at running back and rushed for 845 yards and 12 touchdowns, and also at linebacker. He was a second-team selection on offense and a first-team selection on defense on the small Clover Belt all-conference team. His senior year, the Blackhawks were 14-0 and small Clover Belt conference champions, qualifying for the WIA Division VI playoffs, where they would make it to the championship game at Camp Randall Stadium, where they would defeat Mineral Point 54-6 to win the Division VI championship. In that game, Brad carried the ball 14 times for 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. On defense, he led Owen Withy with 12 tackles and a pass interception. For the season, Brad rushed for 1,750 yards and 23 touchdowns. He was first-team all-conference on offense and defense and was the Defensive Player of the Year. He was a Channel 7 All-Star at linebacker and was honorable mention All-State. He was also named to the Wisconsin Football Coaches Association All-Star Game. In the winter, Brad was a member of the Owen Withy basketball team. His junior year, the Blackhawks were 8-13, and Brad averaged 4 points per game. His senior year, the Blackhawks were 7-13. Brad averaged 8 points per game. In the spring, Brad was a 2-year letter winner on the Blackhawk track team, where he participated in the shot put and the discus. Brad graduated in 2000 from Owen Withy. He was named as a WIA Scholar Athlete, an honor that is bestowed on only about 30 student athletes in the state. After graduation, Brad enrolled at Ripon University, where he joined the Red Hawk football program. His freshman year, Ripon was 9-1. Brad played special teams and was a backup at linebacker. His sophomore year, Ripon was 8-2. Brad played special teams and linebacker, but a knee injury ended his season and also ended his football career. Brad graduated from Ripon University in 2004 with a bachelor's degree in economics. In 2004, he then enrolled at Barry University in Miami, Florida to study for his master's degree. In 2006, he earned his master's degree. His first job was a director of finance and ticket operations for the Rockford Riverhawks, an independent minor league baseball team that plays in the Frontier League. In 2010, he was promoted to general manager of the Rockford Riverhawks, a position he held until 2015. Since 2015, Brad has held the position of Director of Business Services for the city of Elk Grove, Illinois, Park District, which is a suburb of Chicago. Brad and his wife Samantha and their family reside in Elk Grove, Illinois. Brad Scholz, right?
Brad Scholz. What year was that when he went to football state?
2000.
Believe I was there.
99. Well, yeah, it'd been 99 year.
Yeah, I believe I was there for that game.
Yep,
Down at Camp
54-6 against Mineral Point. So.
Yeah, he was a good running back.
Yeah, you betcha.
Yes, he was. All right, so where are they now here on Two Guys on Sports? Don't forget, if you miss our shows, they are archived online.
Yep.
Just go to cwbradio.com, and you'll see the...
there's about 4 years of shows. It'll keep you busy for a while.
You'll see the picture of us on there, Two Guys on Sports.
Yeah, it doesn't do us justice. But, yeah.
Pretty good likenesses, though.
Not
I mean,
bad. Not bad.
my goatee is a little darker than it is now. But
My hair is about just as white. So
Hey, the Pro Football Hall of Fame unveiled 173 modern era nominees and
Yeah.
3 Packers.
yeah,
Former Packers are on that list.
Jordy Nelson, Josh Sitton, and
T.J. Lang.
T.J. Lang. So I said probably Jordy has probably the best chance of someday getting in, but
Yeah.
who knows? So
Yeah, first timer, and they're going to cut that list way down to
way down.
25.
Yeah,
in November.
But I think you're on the list for 10 years or something.
Yeah,
like
it's a
that.
while,
Yeah,
yeah.
and you're on that list for 10 years, and then after you drop, then you go to the Veterans Committee or whatever the heck they want to call it. So,
Right.
but,
You can try again.
Still, just to get on that list is pretty good. T.J. Lang was a tremendous offensive guard. He and Sitton were the offensive guards.
Right,
And
yeah.
that was a great offensive line they had in those days, too. So
Yeah, I was surprised when I saw those names
Yeah.
come up for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, time flies, doesn't it?
Nelson and Sitton both were just inducted into the Packer Hall of Fame.
Yep. And Lang will be someday, too. I
Yeah, I'm
believe.
sure he will.
Yeah,
Yep.
so-
Yep. Speaking of the Packers, well, they built a 12-point lead in the second half, but couldn't hang on against Atlanta.
Really got away from doing what they did to get him there. I said, it seemed like they did a lot of short throwing with everybody involved, and they just got kind of away and they tried to run the clock down with A.J. Dillon, and he just was not effective. I
No,
didn't think.
no.
He is that. That's where you miss Aaron Jones. And I guess you look at Dillon. He's not a featured back. He's kind of a complimentary back.
Right.
So,
Yep.
but,
But Bijan Robinson is a
he's
is a featured back.
He's gonna be in this
He's
league
gonna
a
be a
while.
good one.
Yeah, he's tough to bring down.
Yeah.
The Packer run defense had no answer for him.
No, and that's what hurt him in the second half.
And then Desmond Ridder was able to do some play action stuff, and Packers had a couple potential interceptions that they whiffed on. Jair Alexander would have walked in the end zone and won in the first half.
Yeah, right in his hands.
What can you say? They got to pick it up and go from there. The whole division is, the whole division lost Sunday.
Yeah, right. So they're not, out of anything. They're tied with Detroit now.
Jordan Love did play okay though, Larry.
Yeah.
He didn't turn the ball over. I don't know what he was doing on that quarterback sneak towards the end of the game, but I don't know if we'll ever get a true answer on that one. But he didn't hurt the play. And I thought Jaden Reed and a few of those guys, the young receivers, just looked awesome.
Yeah,
they really do. And plus Luke Musgrove too.
Yeah, right.
So they've got New Orleans this Sunday.
Yeah, it won't be any eeasier. New Orleans got a good defense.
Very good defense, and new quarterback this year, David Carr.
Yeah.
So,
but they also use who's the other
Swiss
guy?
Army knife.
Yeah, they use him, and I watched a little bit of that game Monday night.
He's their leading rusher.
Yeah, and that's Packers have had trouble with those quarterbacks that can run like that.
And you will see a lot of him.
Yeah.
But they have some tremendous good receivers on the outside in Chris Olave and Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara is still suspended though, so they won't see him. So.
Well,
But I can't think of the kid from BYU the Packers should have never let go. So
Taysom Hill is the guy I'm
Yes,
thinking
yeah,
of
yeah.
that they run.
yeah, he has made a heck of a name for himself down in New Orleans.
Yeah.
The Packers released him in training camp, hoping to get him back on the practice squad, and New Orleans swept him up and have never let him go.
Yeah, and they've used him effectively in their offense.
You bet. He lines up at quarterback. He lines up at running back. He lines up at receiver. He lines up at tight end.
Yeah.
And he also plays special teams. I've seen him block kicks on special teams too. So,
Wow.
So
NFL football tonight. It is the Giants are at San Francisco, and the 49ers are a juggernaut right now.
they're looking. Brock Purdy is a complimentary piece there. He's not. He just has to fit in. But their defense was tremendous. Nick Bosa. That money they just gave him. I think he's worth every penny. So.
Does Dallas play San Francisco? I was going to look at their schedule.
I'm not sure.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Wow. Dallas at San Francisco on October 8th.
Okay.
Sunday night.
Okay. So that's be 2 weeks from this Sunday.
That would be a good one.
Yep.
Those are probably the two best defenses right now in the NFL.
I really think so. It's Dallas has a good offense, but they really don't. As long as they don't make mistakes, their defense is going to get. I said Micah Parsons. is awesome, but you can double team him all they want. They got so many other pieces.
Right. That just
especially-
helps the other guys.
Yeah, in that front seven, there's so many guys. Dexter Fowler, guys like that. Lawrence, it just
Yeah.
wow, they just come at you in waves. So it's gonna take a good team to beat the Cowboys. So.
Yes, it is. 2 Monday night games again this week.
Yep.
You can tell there's a writer's strike.
Yes, there is.
ABC looking to put something on
Yeah.
along with ESPN. So
Yeah, it's-
Philadelphia and Tampa Bay and
Yeah.
the Rams and Cincinnati,
Okay.
both on Monday night.
Cincinnati really struggling.
They are.
Joe Burrow, he's just right now. He's just kind of a shadow of himself. So.
Yeah, there's a few teams that are kind of struggling that you didn't think were going to be struggling.
He's right up. They're right up there though. That's the one I
Yeah.
think of right off the top of my head. So. But-
Yeah. All right. So that's NFL. The Brewers wrapping up their series with St. Louis this afternoon.
So.
And then they go to Miami.
So.
Getting down there with that magic number.
Yeah, there was 6.
Yeah.
Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Tuesday night win. So, but 3 in Miami, then home for 3 for the Cardinals Tuesday, Thursday of next week, and finish up at 3 with the Cubs. And hopefully that magic number is 0 before the Cubs series. And it doesn't
Yeah.
mean a darn thing.
Then you can get ready for the
And,
playoffs.
the Cubs are struggling right now, Larry. And if the season ended right now, it'd be the Brewers and the Cubs, because the Cubs hold that third wild card right now.
You're right.
You know,
Yes, yes, it
so
is.
it would be the
Yeah.
Brewers and the Cubs at American Family
Wouldn't
Field.
that be something?
Yeah, I said
3 more games.
6 games in a row, 6-game homestand.
Well, hopefully it wouldn't be 6. It would be 2
yeah, hopefully 2
for the playoffs.
But you'd like to see the Brewers get this done. Hopefully, if not in Miami early next week, then they get their pitching set up.
Right.
So you've got your 3 starters ready for that game.
Yeah, you want to go. You want to go Burns, Woodruff, Peralta.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah. Then they'll go probably bullpen.
yeah,
Some of those games.
yeah. Like Tuesday night, they started with McGill.
Yeah, they've done that twice now.
And then they must. And I think Ray pitches a little better when he's not the starter.
It seems
I think.
like it, yeah.
But
Yeah.
he pitched well Tuesday night.
Yes,
but,
he did.
So we'll see if he's going to have a place. It's hard to say if he'll have a place in the postseason because you also have Hauser and White and Miley too. So and both of them are going to be part of the roster for sure. So.
All right. I've just seen here that Brewers right-hander J.C. Majaya
Yeah.
was suspended
Okay.
162 games
Oh, next year.
after testing positive for a performance-enhancing
Okay.
drug.
He was up earlier in the season.
Yeah. Well, he won't be now.
Yeah.
He's suspended for 162 games.
Pretty much not going to be seen in Milwaukee probably again.
No,
probably.
no. I would assume they're probably going to let him go.
I don't know how high he was on their list, but anybody that gets called, if he makes Nashville, they must think pretty highly of him. So, but
Yeah.
he kind of hurt himself here. So
Yeah. Yeah. He'll be done. Big Ten football. Badgers
yeah, they
playing actually tomorrow night.
Yeah, they played poorly against Georgia Southern in the first half. but
Yeah.
They got things going. Their defense forced 6 turnovers, 5 interceptions. I guess they've been watching Neillsville, I guess. I don't know. But, Georgia Southern's not a bad ball club.
No.
Mordecai, 19 out of 30, 236. Allen rushed for 94 and 2 touchdowns. Malusi, 61 and a touchdown. So,
They got to get that running, but that their new offensive coordinator is not really a running guy.
no, he's not. And he's still got players that are a running game.
Yeah.
His offensive linemen were not recruited as pass blockers.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I think if they get that running game going,
But I do think they have the receivers to make this go.
yeah.
So, but we'll see.
Again, they play tomorrow night, Wisconsin
Friday-
at Purdue.
Friday Night Lights.
Yep, 6:00. It's on FS1.
Yep. So big night there. So some other nice games this week though, Larry.
Okay.
Saturday night, Ohio State at Notre Dame.
Ooh.
That will be a dandy, and that should be on NBC. And another good one Saturday, Colorado at Oregon. Coach
yes.
Prime, probably his biggest challenge so far going into Oregon. So
Yeah, and Coach Prime. Go ahead.
Florida State at Clemson, Iowa at Penn State, Mississippi at Alabama, UCLA at Utah. This is a good one here. Oregon State and Washington State. Both teams are ranked. And of course, these are the only two teams that are left in the Pac-10. So they're saying this is for the championship of the Pac-2.
The Pac-2, yeah. That game on Fox, so I'm sure they'll make note of that throughout that broadcast.
Yeah, Washington State, pretty good ball club. And, I'll tell you, when Wisconsin played at Washington State, that crowd was nuts.
Yes, they were.
And that game's in Pullman again.
So they'll be nuts there.
Yeah.
Two top 25 teams going at it. But I was just going to say the Colorado double overtime win was the most watched late-night college football game ever on ESPN.
Is that right? Oh, yeah, and that started.
Even though it lasted a long time.
Yeah, it would.
Double overtime.
It was well past midnight
here.
Yeah,
here.
It was over.
Yeah, 9.3 million viewers.
Yeah, what a game. I didn't think Colorado State would give them that big a fight, but they really went after them. So
I thought there was kind of a cheap shot there on on their
on Travis Hunter. Yeah.
Now he's out.
Lacerated kidney.
Yeah.
So,
boy, I tell you,
that was.
I wouldn't want to be that guy.
Coach
hit him.
Prime kind of downplayed it though. So.
But it was a cheap shot.
But
that was not.
I think he was being nice to the reporters.
Yeah, that was not. That was uncalled for.
One WIAC note, Larry. UW Lacrosse traveled to Marquette, Michigan last Saturday, and they defeated Division II Northern Michigan 34-3. Northern Michigan's only 3 points came on a 44-yard field goal by Stanley Boyd alum Michael Carlin.
Remember him? Yeah,
kicker.
he can kick.
Yeah, he's 2 out of 6 in field goals and 4 for 4 for extra points.
Good for him.
Yeah, so that caught my eye there. So.
Yeah, I remember he had an excellent leg.
Yeah. I just remember we get it to the field early. Watching him practice, he'd be kicking 50-yard field goals in practice.
Yeah, when you see that in a high school field, that's
and then his kickoffs were touchbacks just about every time too. So, he was a weapon in high school.
Oh yes,
and a very good running back too. In high school, so
fast. Yeah, just like all the Stanley Boyd players.
Yep, built for that turf.
Yeah. Well, Neillsville Granton will have them tomorrow night. Neillsville Granton and Stanley Boyd high school football again.
Once again, let's fill that hill.
Yeah, pack the hill up there at D.E. Peters Athletic Field.
These kids deserve it.
Yeah, 7 o'clock game time if you can't make it on 92.7 WPKG and 92.7 WPKG.com. That'll do it for Two Guys on Sports for this week. I'm Larry Hazer.
I'm Dick Olson.
Talk to you next week.